My name is Elena Shvab and I'm a hat designer based in London. Welcome to my studio. I'm very happy to welcome you to this tutorial, and it's going to be very exciting, really amazing tutorial, as I'm going to teach you and show you step by step how to make a really nice, beautiful Fascinator hat. And most importantly, it's very easy to make. You need minimum materials, and you can even use little pieces left over of your Sinamay straws that you have left from other projects that sometimes you don't even know what to do with them because they're quite small. And today we're going to learn what to do with these little pieces by creating a very beautiful design. So let me show you. This is a hat. Obviously, you can create in many different colors. You can create in very many different structures. And today I'm going to show you how to make this particular design, and then you can take it further, experiment, and you would be able to create even more beautiful pieces. You can go for a bigger scale. So this is like a mini version of a fascinator, but you can, using the techniques that I'm going to show you today, you can create bigger fascinator hats, or take it further, and with your imagination just continue creating more. So welcome everyone who's joining. Hello, Camille, great to see you here. Thank you for joining. I'm really excited. I was looking forward to it, and I've been designing this little piece because I wanted to teach you to make something that is very easy to make but very beautiful, and also to teach you skills that you can implement to many different other hats and designs. So what we will need, all the materials that we will need, I have already wrote down in the description of this video. So this time I go ahead and already wrote down the whole list of things that you're gonna need. And the most basic things, you need Sinamay straw, this beautiful fabric, which is made of banana leaf, so which makes it a 100% natural material, which is amazing. It's very ecologically friendly. We're going to need a comb to secure the hat, or you can use elastic or headband, whatever works for you. It's absolutely up to you. The benefit of the comb that you can apply the hat in many different ways and different sides. With elastic, it has to be only one side or two sides, like front or back. And with the headband as well, you kind of have to be very specific with the location of the fascinator. And we're going to need hat base. It can be, this is a small hat base. I think it's 10 centimeters big, wide. You can go for 12 centimeters or bigger. You can create your own of your own colors. You can combine two different layers of Sinamay straw to create not just one shade, but like two shades, like we created little bows, if you remember this video. If not, go to my YouTube channel. There's a wonderful video on how to make lovely bows using two different layers or three different layers of different Sinamay colors, and see how it works. What else we're going to need? Matching threads, needles, scissors, basic stuff, ironing board. Well, I have ironing cloth, iron, steamer. You can use a kettle steamer, or you can use regular iron steamer. The only downside of that is just you have to hold it all the time. Or here today we're going to use a garment steamer, a really basic one, but it works for Sinamay straws perfectly well. We're going to need water, tap water, regular, absolutely regular water. Scissors, I said, thimble, baking paper might help, and that's it. You see, very easy. So you don't really need a lot of materials. So hello to everyone who's joining. In the meantime, it's all lovely to see you. Marianne, hello. Everyone, hello. And as usual, please leave comments, ask questions during live session. That's the benefit of live session, because I can answer all your questions while we are here. And, any feedback, I would love to hear from you. So let's have a, chat while we're going to make really beautiful hats. So let's start and we can continue talking. I have amazing news for everyone. And I hope you're going to love it because everyone can benefit from that. So first, let's start. And we're going to need Fascinator, not the Fascinator, we're going to need Sinamay straw to make a Fascinator. So I have prepared different pieces, offcuts of Sinamay straw because we don't really need a lot of material, and there's no point of using bigger pieces. So these are left over from the workshops that I have, from different projects, from the hats that I make. And usually there's nothing I can do with this because it's not enough to block a hat. And it's just like one little piece of this color that left. So it's perfect to create these little hats. So I have this piece of lovely mint color. I will also have some pink and more navy. So, all right. So let's start with one color. We're gonna need iron. So I'm just gonna plug it in. Okay, feeling comfortable. Okay, so let me just move things around so I have more space. And okay, as usual, we're gonna cut Sinamay straw on the bias. It's very, very, very important because this sort of like effect, because I've been stretching here and pulling the fabric, and you can do this only if you cut the Sinamay straw on the bias. And how to check where the bias are? It's on a diagonal, so it's not straight lines where the lines crisscross themselves. See, this is where the lines crisscross themselves. This is not a bias. This is very non-stretchy side, but on a diagonal, this is called bias, and this is the most stretchiest part. So you can check it by just pulling material a little bit. If you feel like it stretches, then this is the bias. So I'm gonna fold it. It's up to you to decide how wide you would like your hat to be. So for example, here I have one part that is, I don't know, 10 centimeters maybe, and another one that is like 15 centimeters. So it's up for you to decide how wide each layer of the decorations you're gonna have and how many layers you're gonna have. So obviously one layer can be like 2 centimeters, another 5 centimeters, another 10 centimeters. It's your design, it's your decision how you make it. I'm just gonna show you the technique of how to make these little layers. So I'm gonna fold, and I don't have my measuring tape with me, but I think it's about 15 centimeters. I'm gonna make this the widest part. And now I'm gonna use a little bit of water. Also important thing that you have to use a pre-stiffened Sinamay straw. It means that the Sinamay straw that already has a little bit of stiffener in it. If you have a Sinamay straw that is not stiffened, you'd better stiffen it first and then use it, because this technique will work only with a stiffener, because stiffener acts like a glue, and after spraying a little bit of water extracts stiffener, and with ironing and pressing, it helps for the layers to bond. And this is what we need, because this is kind of effect is created by pressing both layers of Sinamay together. You see, so it becomes like one really nice layer. So you can use baking paper on top. For example, if you're working with bright colors and your irons are not that, clean, like mine is never clean, and doesn't matter how much I'm trying to keep it, tidy, it never helps. So I just give up and I'm just using baking paper. But for learning purposes, I'm not going to use baking paper, so you see what I'm doing. But I would encourage you to use baking paper to protect the Sinamay straw from the dirt of the iron, and also iron from the stiffener, because it will stick to the surface. Especially when you work with bright colors, because you can't really get rid of any dirt after it transferred from the iron. So medium heat, and I'm really pressing with the iron, like really doing a good job, because otherwise if you just iron, it's not going to do anything. You really have to press so that it helps for both layers to bond together. Okay, and well, actually it helps with a baking paper, because I can feel like my iron is sticking to the straw because of the stiffener. So when you use baking paper, it sort of like helps for easier ironing process. So I'm just gonna press, and if you feel like, you know, layers do not bond together, you might apply a little bit more water, because the layers do not have to be wet, not wet, just damp. That's quite enough, but not too dry, so that there's enough moisture to help to extract the stiffener. And then with the heat of the iron, you press and bond the layers together. Okay, it's working. And there. Oh, so it's like going to the gym. I'm already feeling like my hand is, you know, muscles are really working out. So I'm pretty much happy. So you see what happened? So now we have two layers bonded together, so it acts like one layer, which is pretty cool. And I'm just going to trim this little edge. Okay. And I'm also going to trim these edges on one side and on the other side. Lovely. So we have one. And then let's create at the same time a second layer. So I'm going to make it slightly shorter. So maybe like this. And I'm going to use this really lovely mint color. Okay. And again, I'm going to fold it together. So let's compare. Okay. Let's compare. And so I'm going to make it, yes, something like that. Because I want one layer to be on top, another one underneath, so they don't overlay each other. Okay, and I'm going to apply a little bit more water. There. And I'm going to start ironing. Just going to cover it with a little bit of baking paper. And hey, here we go. And again, as I said, it's very much important that, you know, the material is pre-stiffened, because if it's not pre-stiffened, it's not gonna work, and you're gonna really struggle with ironing with no results. So you either stiffen the material if you buy non-stiffened Sinamay straw, or you just try to buy a pre-stiffened Sinamay in the first place. I mean, it's much easier to work with pre-stiffened Sinamay. It's a little bit more expensive than non-stiffened Sinamay, but believe me, you don't have to stiffen it and you don't have to waste extra time. So it's worth the extra few pounds than you're going to spend on it. And I want to welcome everyone who's joining now. Elizabeth, Priscilla, hello. This would be the same technique to make Sinamay bias ribbon. The bias ribbon is the more folds, folding. But in a way, yes, you also have to apply water a little bit, have to stretch the straw, and you have to fold. I have a good tutorial on my channel about how to create bias strip, and I also have a recording, a new tutorial that I need to finish and publish soon about how to create bias strip and how to cover bias strip, how to cover the edge of Sinamay straw with bias strip. So you know, look up for it. It will be out soon in a couple of days. I just need to finish it quickly. And okay, I hope this answers your question. Okay, so now we're gonna cut this as well, right here. Okay. I'm really excited for everyone to join, and you know, it's amazing to learn things together and to communicate, share your experiences, ask questions. All right, so what we have is, now we have these two lovely layers. Oh, somehow it actually matches my earrings. That's amazing. I didn't even think about it, but it's lovely. Okay, so the next step, we don't need that much of this material, so I'm just gonna trim the edges like this, and like, gonna trim it right here. So, and let's go back to our hat. So this is the one layer, this is another layer, and also we have these little decorations, very easy to make. We need squares folded in a triangle. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna fold this fabric, and maybe we can make it actually a very different color now. So let's take this lilac color, which is very, very pretty. I'm just gonna straighten these. Okay, and I'm gonna fold it like this. So we need just a square. So what I'm trying to do is just to fold a triangle so that I can cut a perfect square. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Again, these pieces can be any size you like. This is just a technique, and then you can apply it to much bigger pieces or try different geometrical shapes. It's absolutely up to you. So I'm going to cut a few of these. And another one. So we need just square folded in a triangle. Okay. Two. Okay, let's just make two. You can make as many as you like. And what we're going to need again, we need, who knows what we're going to use? We're going to use water. Why water? Because water extracts stiffener. And when we iron Sinamay straw, both layers bond together because stiffener acts like a glue, which is great because now we have this nice and solid triangle. So just compare this piece and this piece. Amazing, isn't it? That's all the beauty of Sinamay straw. It's absolutely amazing fabric. Okay, so I trimmed the edges, and I'm going to apply just a little bit, teeny tiny water to soften the straw, to fold the material inside. Okay, and I'm gonna iron the fold, really press it. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same with the other side, but not the folded one. The folded one is good, just this side. Make sure that it's slightly damp so it's easier to fold and that you don't break the straw. And iron. Yeah. Just like that. I'm really applying some pressure, trimming the edge, and we have this really lovely, cute triangle. So it feels a bit stiff because you know, we folded the edges and plus there's a stiffener inside. But the next step, I'm going to show you how to soften the straw and how to, you know, from 2D go into 3D. Which is quite amazing how easy it's all done. So I'm gonna apply a little bit more water here, not wet, just damp. Imagine if you apply too much water, it's gonna take a long time for the fabric to dry. So we need just a little bit, and then I'm gonna apply more pressure and iron. Okay, and now I'm gonna fold the edges. I mean, these hats you can also make with your children, with your grandchildren. I mean, you can obviously you can cover all the ironing thing, but they can help you to fold the fabric. They can help you to cut the shapes, work with the steamer that is not too strong, of course. And just the whole experience could be very, very amazing. I had a student, she came with her mom from Texas, and they came for a Fascinator Hat workshop to create a beautiful lily hat. Oh, this one. Yeah. So they've created a very similar hat to this, and I've been teaching very similar how to make these triangles. And she was, I think, 8 years old, and she loved it so much. A few months later, her mom contacted me saying that her daughter loved the fascinator making so much that now she wants to be a fashion designer. And I must say, this is really one of the best things in teaching hat making, especially for kids, because when you influence someone's life and someone loves what you love, it's the biggest blessing ever. And you can imagine if you, for example, make something like that with your kids or grandkids, it could also have an impact on them. And I think this is just amazing. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have a little bow. Okay, are you using a dry iron? Yes, it's dry iron, no steam, because we need to bond the materials. Steam will only make the material very, very soft, and at this point we need it to be very solid and dry. So let's create this little bow. Maybe we can use, what color can we use? Doesn't really matter. Well, we can use the same color here. So how to make bow? It's really, really, really easy. It's the same as how who asked about the question how to make the bias strip. Elizabeth, yes, ask about, is that the same technique as how to make a bias strip? So now we're going to make a bias strip. I'm going to use a bias strip as a bow. Kind of fun. So for that, I'm going to cut a bit wider piece of fabric. Okay, something like that. Let's see how it goes. And we're gonna spray a little bit of water, not too much. Right now we need to spray with water to soften the straw. And what I'm gonna do, this is the coolest part ever, you're gonna stretch the fabric, really stretch it, and because it's wet, it's not gonna break. So that's the beauty of it. And you see what happened? From a wider piece, it became a bit narrower and longer. And the texture also changed, you see? So what are we gonna do now is folding in half. Okay, folding in half so that we know where the center line is. And then we're folding towards the center, one side, and then we're folding towards the center, another side, and then we're folding together. And now we've created bias strip. The beauty of this technique is that you can apply it to different widths. For bias strip, like edge, covering the edge of the hat base, you need altogether 1 centimeter at the end, so you cut a 9 centimeter piece. For this, I think I cut a bit wider. You can create even wider bias strip pieces for decoration, so it's absolutely up to you, but this is the way how you do it. This is the basic. The size, the length, the width is absolutely up to you. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of water because I have to keep it moisturized, and I'm gonna iron again. So basically all we're doing is just spraying, cutting, folding, and ironing. It's very, very, very basic, but then you understand the pattern. This is mostly what you do, and you create different types of decorations. You just have to decide what kind of shape you want to cut and create, and then you go for it. It's pretty much easy, quite straightforward, and quite fun. This is really, really, really amazing fabric, and voila, ta-da! Isn't it fun? And now you can create a lot of different things just using these spice strips. I'm gonna trim the edges. And okay, so let me tidy up a little bit so we have more space. And okay, so now, oh, we need a hat bases. And where did I put the hat bases? Okay, we're gonna take a short break. Stay here. I just need to go and grab the hat bases because I left them somewhere. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. And yes, so I brought everything I had. Didn't have time to choose. So which color shall we have? So we have navy, we have mint color, we have pink. Well, let's go for pink. Let's have the hat base of a bold color. So hello everyone who's joining in the meantime. And don't forget to click that thumbs up. Yeah. Click the thumbs up, please, to support my work and this workshop. If you like it, please let me know. That's actually a good idea. Thank you, Elizabeth. Hello, Mind Matters. I just subscribed. Welcome to the channel. Very happy to have a new subscriber. And yes, don't forget to put the notification button so the next time you see the live video, and there are going to be quite a lot of different videos and amazing topics and subjects. And I have a lot of ideas of what to do. And I think it's time for a little bit of surprise. I recently partnered with one of my most favorite suppliers here in the UK. They're called the Trimming Company. I've been buying materials from them as long as I remember, since I started my career, and I love their materials. And they generously offering all my followers 10% discount. All you have to do is just when you buy the materials, you use code Elena at the checkout, and you get 10% discount on everything that you would like to purchase. And all the links and details are in the description below. So go ahead and treat yourself with a little bit of lovely, beautiful materials. Their Sinamay straws are pre-stiffened, exactly what we need. They also have a range of other fabrics, hat bases, everything you just need. So if you have any questions, do ask. And I just want to say that this is a supplier who I purchased personally from them for many years, and I really love their qualities, and I would never recommend anything that I have not tested and liked myself. So back to the hat making. Now we approaching part number 2. So we prepared all these materials, and it was quite easy to make and quite fast. So second part is going to be going from 2D into 3D by steaming the materials. So as a steamer, you can use, first of all, you can use a garment steamer. This is very basic one. This one I think I bought in Lidl or Aldi in one of the UK shops. I'm sure that you can find something like that in your country. For Sinamay straws, it doesn't have to be very strong. It does have to be strong for felts though. So I can't use it for felts, not too strong for that. You can use kettle. If you open the lid and leave it open, the water will boil and you can use this steam, but you just have to be careful because kettle steam is very, very powerful. So please don't burn yourself, and definitely don't allow children to use it for arts and crafts. This is adults only. Or you can use iron steamer, but the only downside of it, as I said in the beginning, you always have to press the button, so you can't really use both of your hands. So think about what works best for you. So I'm going to be using this garment steamer, and let's just put it on. So how does the steam work? While do you remember when we were applying some water, the material is quite soft and flexible, and you can stretch it and pull it and do whatever you want. Same with this steamer. It's same moisture that softens the straw, but it also hot. Heat helps to mold the shape. So while you're steaming, you can manipulate the straw. It's very soft. It's so much fun. Once you're happy with the shape, you take it off the steam. You hold it for like 5 seconds until material cools down. Then the material molds into shape and you can let it go and the shape is ready. So let's see how it works. In the meantime, did you make the hat base yourself? No, not this one. This is ready-made that I purchased from my supplier. But usually for my projects, I do make the hat bases because they have to be the same color as the hat. However, if I'm using hat bases as a base for a bigger hat, then I just buy it. It doesn't make any sense of making one. It's extra time and extra effort, which makes my product even more expensive and doesn't make any sense. I hope that answers the question. And while I'm waiting for the steamer, I just want to encourage everyone, please subscribe to my channel. It will really help for the channel to grow and for other people to discover it so they can learn hat making or crafts and benefit from this channel. Also, you can support this channel by becoming a contributor. The link is in description. You can join and unsubscribe at any time, but your contribution will help for this channel and for me to create these videos for you and go live and purchase the materials so that I can show you all different amazing techniques. Or you can become a member and get access to members only videos and tutorials which are more detailed and show more different techniques of hat making, which in this members only video I go into define detail, and you can benefit from it. There's a lot of amazing videos of blocking felts and straws and many other things that you will never find on free YouTube channels anywhere, and you can learn and benefit from it. And I think okay, it's working. So this is a side. So first let's try and soften the straw by steaming it a little bit. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, okay, see it's not very strong, so it's like it takes time for it to soften the straw. Okay, and you see, while I'm steaming, the fabric becomes very soft. So what I'm doing, I'm just folding here at the edge. I can't really fold while the fabric is, stiff, but steamer helps to soften the straw, and I can nicely fold it. Okay, so, and then I'm also folding the edges like this because I don't want this to stick out. It doesn't really look good. So I'm gonna steam this a little bit and just join it to the other folds. There. So we have sort of like a fan, and I'm just gonna use a clip to keep it together. Yeah, really nice. and lovely. And what I'm going to do is, because it's on the base, I can stretch it. So it makes it a bit wider and longer. But while I'm steaming, I can create different shapes by just manipulating the straw. Okay. I can't really do it without steaming because otherwise the material is not too soft. And you can just play with the fabric the way you like until you're happy with the result. You can simply, stretch and use your thumbs and fingers to stretch the fabric on the base. And because it's on the base, it's easy to stretch it. Okay. So you play as long as you want until you're happy with it. And then we're going to do the same with this part. I mean, it doesn't have to be as long. I don't even know why I cut it that long. Ideally, it should be a bit shorter, but let's see how it goes. I mean, it might surprise us. Okay, same thing. While I'm steaming, the fabric is a bit softer. Not a bit, it's much softer. And I'm just folding the fabric, gathering the folds here. And it's a bit warm, but it's okay. And then I'm also gonna fold the sides because I don't want them to stick out. And right here, and the same side, folding the same side. So that's what we have. Okay, so we have two parts and two layers. It's already like little heart hat, which is kind of cute. So before I continue, first of all, I want to secure these ends together so that I have the material in place. And I'm just going to use I'm going to stitch. I'm going to use the thread. Okay, double thread ideally, so that the stitch is strong. Okay, and almost like a scallop seashell. Yeah, that's right. Very much similar to that. You can put some pearls on top, stitch. You see, you say different names, and then, imagination starts working, and you see, okay, it looks like that. So maybe I should add some pearls, or maybe I should add some sparkles, or, maybe some other decorations similar to that. And that's quite amazing. And now you have a new theme, and new design is in the mind, which is amazing. And just from one little technique, which can take us to different directions. Okay. Hello, Ava. Ava, how are you? How are you all? I hope you're enjoying so far. Please do let me know if you're enjoying, and please do press the thumbs up button so that I can see if you're enjoying the video, and if it's educational, if you're learning something new. Okay, so I'm just stitching a little bit to secure the ends right here, and then I'm going to do the same with the other side, with the other hat. Okay, so it doesn't really matter the color of the thread and the moment, and because we're going to cover all of that anyway, but I just need to secure all of that here. Okay, and then to finish, going into the loop, stretch and trim. Okay, so we have two scallop shells. let's call them that. And okay, we're going back to steaming. And Elizabeth is from California. Wow, California is amazing. Kentucky, USA. Wow, from many different places. And who's else from where? Germany. Marianne is from Germany. Very international team we are. That's quite amazing. That's what I love about being online. This is what I love about internet in general, because you meet people from different countries, from different parts of the world, shared experiences. That's really fascinating. So I combined these two parts together, and what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to steam and press, because there's a lot of folds here. I'm going to steam, press, and flatten this part. And I'm going to do the same here with this. It's really hard to do it when the fabric is dry, but once you steam it, it's much easier to press. And you see there's like a lot of layers, and we also have to cover it with something, because we can't let anyone see that. So what I'm going to try and do now, I'm locating the hats the way I want. So you might just look at it a little bit lower, depending how much you want the distance between two colors. And then you can either have each of them folded differently, or you would maybe want them to be very similar in design. So you want to, let me just use the clip here to hold these two. So you see, I'm just going to steam this together. It's a bit hard to do because one is a bit longer, another one is shorter. But we can definitely try. Actually, let's make them different styles. Okay. I just want them to, in some parts, to be the same, and in the rest, just very different. Okay. You can always change the design by steaming if by the end, when you already finished the hat and you already attached to the hat base. But it's best to create the best version at this point, so that we have to do less work later. Okay, and just gonna steam this part. I want them to be like going one into another. Okay. Okay, so something like that. You can play with the folds as long as you want, until you're happy, making different waves and curves and stretching the fabric, because it's on the base, it's really easy to stretch. So I'm just gonna stitch both layers together now, so that they are attached securely. And I'm gonna use navy thread for now. Okay. It's getting harder and harder to use the needles. Okay, I'm gonna try a different color. Just some threads are thicker, another one's thinner. Yeah, that's much better. Double thread, we need double thread. And so we're gonna secure both parts together of this hat. Okay, so basically the hat is almost ready. So the first part, we had to create the shapes and iron them. The second part is we steaming the shapes, well, the parts that we have, the decorations, into the shapes that we want them to be. And the third part is stitching everything together. So this is like the usual what you do in the hat making. First you make the 2D parts, and then you make 3D by steaming, and then this part of stitching everything together. So now it's the third part of stitching everything together. So this is one, and we also have these two. Oh, this is a really fun. You can do with this whatever you want, really. It's just you, what you do is just together with the steam, you try different ways. So yesterday I was just designing this hat, and I was just playing with the steam and seeing what exactly can I do with it. And I came up with these little parts here. So this is also how you create the lily hat, the lily flower. And what I do is just I fold one part to one side like this, and then I fold the other side using my finger, or you can use a pencil, whatever you have, to the other side. Okay. And okay, so that's what we have, little parts. So you can play with it the way you want. It doesn't have to be necessarily like that. All I'm trying to show you is that the steam has amazing power of transforming 2D into 3D. So you can create all different kinds of designs and creations, because Sinamay straw is very easily manipulated with steam. So it becomes really soft in seconds, and then you can just twist and hold, and then you take it off the steam, you hold it for a few seconds, and the decoration is ready. And then you can use a little pieces of veiling inside and things like that. So so we have sort of like amorphic flowers, amorphic lily flowers, which is, you know, that's kind of lovely. So we can put it right here, and it also helps a little bit to cover all this mess at this part. And let's just make a little bow. Again, it's quite stiff fabric. You see what happens when I'm trying to fold it while it's still dry. But once I'm steaming it, you see it becomes very soft. Okay, the problem with this steam is that it's so powerful. I mean, it works, can't complain, it does a job, but it takes a little bit time. Okay, so you see, there. Just a little bit of steam, and it's a very different behavior of the Sinamay straw, which is quite amazing. So I'm gonna cut it right here. Okay, so we have this little cute bow. Obviously you can make a bigger bow depending what design you would like to make. Again, I have a really amazing tutorial on my YouTube channel about the bows. We made really amazing bows using different layers of Sinamay straw, like different colors of Sinamay straw, which created really nice shades. And I showed how to make nice beautiful bows that you can make with the kids, and there can be very different sizes and colors and shapes. So this is a very basic one, but it's sort of like a classic bow. So that's it. So fold, and then we're using the same material, or you can use other material just to cover you know, the overlap. And I think this is what's gonna cover the rest of, you know, the mess that we have, because you always have to think how to cover all the stitches. There always has to be something on top, because you can't get rid of the stitches. You have to you know, join two parts together, but you also have to have something to cover the mess. So making hats, always think in advance what is going to be underneath, what is going to be the first layer, what is going to be on top, and what is going to be covering all of that. Okay, so now we have to start stitching all together again. Okay, and yeah. So I hope you already have like some ideas what we can do for your next projects. Is your imagination working? Are you thinking about what kind of hats and colors you're gonna make using this technique? Is it going to be something similar or maybe something different? Okay, and so I attached these two together, and then I'm gonna put them, like place them right here because I like them right here. And now I need to stitch it again. I wouldn't advise using glue. Sometimes I do, but I use the glue only to hold the pieces together while I'm stitching. But I wouldn't advise just to use the glue. First of all, it doesn't really look good. And second of all, glue, it's a good solution, temporary solution, but it's not a good solution for a long run because at some point the pieces will start falling apart and you don't want to create a hat for yourself or maybe for your customers and suddenly you're going to realize that some part of the hat is just fell off. It's not a good thing. So it's always good, even if you're using a little bit of glue, always support it with a little bit of stitching, even if it's just few stitches with a thread. But believe me, it will make a massive difference. It will hold your hat stronger for a longer time, and the overall quality is so much better. But if you're already using glue, make sure that it's not visible, that you're very neat with it and accurate, and use a right glue that does not fall off in a few seconds. Okay, so, and now here we're going to attach. So for example, here, talking about glue, okay, it's on the other table. Talking about the glue, I can just use a little bit here just to secure the little bow while the material holds, for material to hold while I'm stitching, all decorations together. But my glue is on the other side, so I'm just gonna skip it. Okay, and the glue, what type of glue I'm using? I'm using Yoo-hoo glue. It's yellow, little yellow bottle. It's a fabric glue, really amazing fabric glue. It dries fast, it doesn't smell, it's a good quality, and it's quite strong. So really advise on using Yoo-hoo glue. And we have greetings from South Africa. Hello from South Africa. Thank you for joining us. It's really amazing to have such an international team today. I'm really happy. So thank you everyone who's joining and learning and commenting. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just securing the bow, the overlap, and I'm not even going to cut the thread. I'm just going to adjust it right here, place it right here at the bottom, okay, to cover the whole thing, so we don't see any. I'm going to use a thimble because there's a lot of layers going on, so I need some help. And then I'm going to stitch all of these layers. That might take some time. Too many layers, but there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, and now I'm just going to secure all of that together neatly and accurately with a very matching thread. So you don't want to see all the stitches on this side. This side has to be as neat as possible. Right? So just like that. And so for everyone who's just joined us, as I said before, all the material list is in the description of this video. Everything that I'm using and everything that you will need. But the most important is that you have a Sinamay straw. That's the basic. Steamer, hat base. But even if you don't have a hat base, you can make a hat base. And matching threads, needles, scissors, iron spray water bottle. It helps if you have a spray bottle. Any spray bottle will do. I didn't buy this in the millinery shop. It's just, you know, for the flowers, but it works perfectly well. Okay, and I have secured the bow. It now looks really lovely, and I'm quite excited about it. And okay, so I'm not really happy about this part, so I'm just gonna go back to steaming, because I want to change this a little bit. So you see what you can do, you adjust all the parts together, but you still can manipulate the straw with the steam during at very different stages. Okay. Okay, so I'm just molding both layers together. Okay. And I'm manipulating with my hands. You see, so my hands, they are like blocking tools right now. Okay. So instead of having like wooden hat blocks, we're using our hands. It's quite handy. I'm just manipulating. It's like no rules how you manipulate. It's just how you feel, how you want your hat to look like. What also helps is that while you're creating a shape, you can also have a look in the mirror just to see, you know, the position of the hat, how you like to put it together, how it looks. Because when you look at the hat and when you put the hat on your head in front of the mirror, it looks absolutely different, believe me. So before you make final stitches, just make sure that you at least apply the hat on your head to have a look and say like, okay, yeah, I love this position, I love the way the folds are going, so I'm gonna leave it as it is. Or I'm just gonna say maybe here a little bit more twist, a little bit more folding, and then you go back to steaming and then putting back on your hat. It's also very useful when you have a mirror in front of you, so you can like for example, right now I have the camera so I can see, and I quite like the position of this right now, even though I do have a hat already on me, but I quite like it. And I like the combination of the colors from the most dark and it goes in the shades. So I quite like the choice of the darkest color closer to my face, because, you know, my face looks better on the darker color, and also color matches with my earrings, which is quite amazing. And then the other colors are complementing as well. So always good to have a look in the mirror before you make the final stitch. And now when we're happy with the hat, then you stitch it to the hat base. So you just position it. Well, actually it doesn't really matter right now. It usually has the back, so the back is right there. Then you position, you see what's the best way, and then you're holding it together. You might just apply some pins here so that the hat base does not move. Okay, and then you take the thread and you neatly and carefully secure the hat. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to make one stitch here, one stitch here, and one stitch here. I'm not going to stitch through all the layers of all the hat, but I just need to secure it on different sides. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, and just to make sure that it's secured and the job is done. So I'm just going to do one stitch. I'm not going to stitch the whole hat because we're already running out of the time, and I don't want to hold you for too long, but it's pretty much very basic. You start with the knot in between the layers so that you hide the knot, because you don't want it to be visible on any side. And then see, I'm stitching, just trying to, I'm stitching right here. So I found the spot which is the best one, and I'm going to stitch through here. I'm going to make sure that the stitches are secured. I mean, not the best choice of the thread color. I would use a navy so that it's not visible on this side. So see, I just few stitches and it's already really nicely secured. Yeah. And I'm just going to make the double double knot. So that for double knot, you go on the other side, you go into the loop and stretch. And then we cut the thread. Okay. And so one side is secured, we can take the pin out. And then we're going to do exactly right here. And one side here, because we want the bow to be secured. And we might, then you're gonna put it on top and see if it works great. You just move it, and you might still steam a little bit the hat, because I mean, sometimes, you know, the material moves, so the final piece you might still put the steamer on and just shape it a little bit, see how it looks, what's the best position. So don't be afraid of steaming even when the hat is already finished, because I mean, it's the process of making. Sometimes even when you attach all the decorations to the hat base, you can still apply a little bit of steam and a little bit change depending of the angle, and it's absolutely fine. You can always do that even when the hat is ready and you've been wearing it for quite some time, and sometimes, you know, with time material gets tired, deformating, so you go back to steam, do a little bit of magic, and the hat is just like new. But don't overdo it. I mean, there's still some some limit of what you can do and not. And then you apply elastic to secure it, or headband, or a comb, whatever works. So here, for this hat, I have applied a comb. So you stitch through the comb, and we might cover how to stitch all of that during our next tutorial. But I hope you enjoyed and liked this technique. It's very easy. Let's sum up: Sinamay straw, folded in half, a little bit of water, ironing and pressing with the iron to mold both layers together, and then we steam the shapes so that we can create different you know, beautiful designs. And depending what shape you are creating, so we can make a bow, we can make like little flowers, or we can make this beautiful folds that look like oyster shells, and then you can add a little bit of pearls, decorate with a little bit of veils, add feathers. I mean, you name it. There's so many different other materials that you can add for your fascinators. And I also want to say thank you for everyone who joined, for all your comments, and joining from so many countries. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And as a thank you, as I already said, from my best supplier, there's 10% discount. The trimming company is offering their 10% discount for all my customers, for all my students and followers to benefit and to create more. The discount code is Elena, is in the description of this video. You just have to enter it at the checkout to enjoy and benefit from 10% discount. These are suppliers that I'm using for years, and I would never recommend anyone who I don't trust or I don't love the quality. So I buy myself materials there. And also, please subscribe to my channel, and do help and support me by becoming a contributor or become a member and join my membership, where I also share a lot of different tutorials that are more detailed and more specific for hat making and blocking and other techniques. And you can always request any subject that you would like to learn about hat making, and I will make sure that I will deliver that tutorial for our members. This is a great program. You can unsubscribe at any time, and I'm trying to post videos every 2-3 weeks with very good content. So to subscribe and join, it's also in the description of this video. You can choose whether you would like to support me as a contributor, or if you would like to join the membership channel. Whatever you choose, I'm very grateful, and thank you for choosing my channel and for staying here with me, and for being with me during this tutorial. I hope it was useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments, and I will return to you and answer the question as soon as I can. Thanks as well. We truly appreciate. Thank you so much, Priscilla. Thank you. Happy Easter. That's right. Marianne, thank you. Super lesson, Camille. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm very grateful. Happy Easter. That's true. I forgot completely. For me, it's just work. But yeah, all enjoy during a wonderful holiday, and I'll see you either this week or next week. But do subscribe, hit the notification button so you don't miss my next tutorial, because I promise you that all tutorials are going to be really awesome. Okay, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, day, rest of the week, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.